What's going on, fam?
Let's go.
J Rell in the chat. Man, like, you know, when you got like a million thoughts in your head, you just trying to figure out which one to pull out. Yeah, it's like that when you get over the first time, you get right back in it. All right. So yeah, my first time coming in contact with Dre was like 2014. Of course, like a lot of people seen that Value of a Man class first, and after that, you know, you start seeing related content about other guys saying value of the man, right? But you don't see where they're talking about their value comes from, though. Like, you like, okay, value, but where does it come from? And it wasn't until later on, till like years later, to where, you know, I ran into Simple like a lot of people did after the day the fires kind of died down. So started watching a lot of Simple, and it wasn't until you started the YouTube classes, but it was one day that you had a class that you couldn't make it on like the private mode for some reason. Right. And I just happened to see it, you know, and that's the class was called Give Not Thy Strength to a Woman. And at the time, you know, I was like in a miser mindset of I'm not much paper. But after that class, it was like, you know, something hit my ear, and it went to my heart that moved me to want to get in these classes and get involved and see what this value is that I've been hearing about all these years, you know. And you know, finding out about, I see that it's about who you are to God and how you show up to Him as a man. And I found out that's where your value was coming from versus all the other guys where their value was coming from external things and, you know, material things or whatever, or cloud on the internet or whatever you want to call it, right? So, you know, we started getting involved in the classes. I'm like, okay, we Israelites. You know, they don't want to learn more about that. I went over to go look at the caps and see what they were talking about. I'm thinking this is what we're supposed to do because, you know, we got a lot of information over here. I'm like, Drake, man, I think I want to join the cap, man. I don't know what I was thinking, man, but he was like, hey, you know, we're cool with Sakari, but, you know, I'm only here for the remnant. So I'm like, okay, cool, we're going to do the cap. All right. Stay down in the information, man. And one of the first things I noticed that started changing was that miser mindset and not being attached to the outcome of it, and being able, like, it feels so good to give, especially to have a family to give to, like everybody in this room, man. And you know, I grew up selfish. You know, it was a feeling of lack, you know, growing up, and because, you know, my mother was a Jehovah's Witness Christian lady or whatnot, and you know, I never felt attached to that religion. It always felt, I guess, cold to me. I didn't feel it. It never did anything for my mind or my heart. It's nothing that ever touched me like this information. So, so just going on about being able to give and give to people that I know would do the same for me without a second thought, right? And I think that's where, when we say the ultimate bliss. What was the spirit, right? The spirit for me was not having the family, the love surrounding me, and you know, to have it now is just like Like, this is ultimate bliss to me, man. And I just look forward to seeing what we're gonna do together in the future, man.